Monaco, playground of the global elite and a favorite of British billionaires. Where to belong, you must have the mansions, the jewelry, and the cars. But there's a secret world which only the wealthiest of the 1% inhabit. The world of the mega yacht.
Today's yachts are the manor houses of Europe.
Measuring up to 200 meters in length and with more horsepower than 10 Formula One cars, they're the ultimate billionaire's toys.
Everything you see is bulletproof on this boat.
But who are the owners?
If you have to ask what it costs, you probably can't afford it.
Why do they buy these boats?
It's all about 6, 7 stars, first class or no class.
Who looks after them?
And boy, he's just been sacked.
Basically, everything has to be absolute perfection.
And to what lengths will owners go to outshine each other?
Nobody really needs a submarine on a yacht.
This is James Bond stuff here. We'll have to get one immediately.
With super yachts at the heart of a growing industry worth £24 billion a year, the showing off culminates at the Monaco Yacht Show.
These boats are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
The ultimate competition where size matters.
Look at that.
But will bigger really be better?
I suppose the question is why?
I suppose the flippant answer is because I can.
Monaco boasts more billionaires per square metre than anywhere on the planet, and many of them are British. Excitement is growing as 120 of the world's most expensive yachts are beginning to cruise in. All of them for sale at the upcoming yacht show. It's a chance for boating royalty to parade their prized possessions. Mega yachts ranging in length from 40 to 85 metres. One of the tycoons who'll be going to the show is Doug Barrowman. He mainly lives on the Isle of Man.
I've got 5 homes around the world, and this is certainly the biggest. Not bad for a rough-house Scots git from Glasgow, really, you know, but there you go.
Doug was a chartered accountant, but he's built an empire after setting up his own private equity company. And with millions in the bank, Doug, who's separated, has created the ultimate in bachelor pads in his main home.
I think all guys are children at heart, really. We still like to enjoy life and do the things we did as younger men, you know, whether it's play pool, whether it's hang out with your friends playing cards, or just have a good night out, really. I think it's all part of the package, isn't it?
Doug loves fine art, fast cars, and the better things in life. But his greatest love is his 55-metre yacht, which cost him over £20 million.
That boat is turquoise, a complete replica of what the real yacht looks like. I always like to smile when I go on board and stop smiling only when I leave.
Doug holidays on his yacht Turquoise 9 weeks of the year with his family.
There she is. Looking good, isn't she?
Like most super yachts, Turquoise's hull is made of steel with an aluminium superstructure. It can reach a top speed of 17 miles per hour.
You've actually got to just sometimes pinch yourself to say, do I really own this?
He employs 13 full-time crew, 52 weeks a year, to provide him and his guests with around-the-clock 7-star service.
I never say no to that. Turquoise glasses as well. All the best. You have to spend it on something. There's a limit to how many houses you can have and private air travel, so therefore a lot of people come to the conclusion, I'm going to have one of these.
He bought Turquoise second-hand and spent over £3 million completely refurbishing the 4 decks and 10 rooms to his own design.
I think I'd have to say that everything you look at's expensive on this yacht.
Doug's also added powerful jet skis and underwater scooters. Accessories can cost up to £1 million extra, but he's still not satisfied. Now he's thinking about building a bigger boat. British designer Johnny Horsfield is experienced in helping multimillionaires like Doug spend their money wisely.
Well, there's not much missing off this boat, really. I mean, OK,
a dedicated gym and a beach club, I think, is probably... And
You know, Johnny and I have got to know what each other like, what I like, through endless hours together, really, talking about this boat, designing this boat. I think we've got another boat in us, really.
It could cost Doug £50 million. Back in London, Johnny's working on several projects where his clients want bigger boats.
Talking about adding another metre into the thing. It started out at something like 85 feet. It's now 105 feet. So it's easy to say, oh, let's just increase it, but actually it's a heck of a lot of work for us. If they know they're going to have to pay for it, that kind of focuses their minds a bit. And the other thing is, of course, they keep seeing new ideas. You've done all this work and then, they come back and go, oh, actually, I quite like this now and this. And so that's
And they're staying in the best hotels all the time and going on their friends' yachts all the time. So it's kind of quite competitive, I think, as well.
Most owners trade in their super yachts for something new after just 3 years. One person who's also looking for something bigger and better is London property magnate Howard Raymond. So Soho is coming to Monaco.
It's not quite Soho to me.
Howard inherited an £80 million property empire from his entrepreneur father, Paul Raymond. And now he's worth substantially more. He runs several large companies from his London base. He's in Monaco because his ambition is to take a year out from business and sail the globe.
I'm kind of in the market for a slightly bigger boat. This one's 30 metres, and it's great for the med, but it's not much good to go transatlantic or into the Indian Ocean. You need a different type of boat for that. Don't hit that boat.
But this Londoner could be a fish out of water at the Monaco Yacht Show.
I kind of like rough and ready, like Marseille and Soho and places like that. So this is quite refined here. It's extremely ostentatious, very over the top, but it's very much like going to Vegas. You have to go to Vegas to see it to believe it, and you have to go to the Monaco Yacht Show for a very similar reason. You have to be a little bit loopy to buy a boat, but we make our choice in life. Some people buy wine, some people buy good food, some people buy cars. I quite like boats, so I buy boats.
To pursue his dreams, Howard will have a choice of plenty of boats at the yacht show, where there'll be over 120 yachts and state-of-the-art accessories on sale. Rupert Nelson is an ex-British naval officer turned sales broker.
Faribana's now arriving into Monaco.
He just has to persuade wealthy people like Howard to spend their millions on buying a yacht.
Take care. Bye. Spending power is huge on these things. There's no sort of holes barred. They're not going to go down to the Lidls or the Waitroses of this world. They're going to go to the nice suppliers. It's all about 6, 7 stars, first class or no class. Everyone gets a piece of that pie, yeah? I mean, that's our pie. That's what we eat.
As a broker, Rupert can make up to 5% commission on sales over £100 million.
There is a misconception that selling big luxury toys has got to be a breeze. You go to parties, you chat up all the models. The fact is, owners are difficult, they are rich, they expect to get their own way, and they want to win. So when the owner gets upset, or the buyer starts saying, you're taking the Michael here, you are a shock absorber. Where the two of them would swing at each other, you there take the swinging, you get the hit. And at the very, very end, when the money's about to change hand, the emotion levels are very high, it's not a safe place to be sometimes, and you've got to be very careful.
Rupert spends the year traveling the globe to seal his deals. But the Monaco show brings the market to him.
This is the biggest boat show probably ever staged. In terms of the combined value of the assets, I suspect you're probably way, way north of a couple of billion euros.
And out of all the yachts for sale this year...
Thanks, Tibo. Thank you.
Rupert has the biggest.
That's the money shot. It shows you the size.
Measuring 85 meters, with a cruising range of 6,000 miles and costing £130 million, Solange is the most expensive boat at the upcoming show.
Ideally, the best client is a billionaire, obviously, because it's 175 million euros. Because if he's an older guy, that could be a plus, because he's ready to retire, chuck it all in, sell the company, buy the yacht. And youth might be good too, because it means he's got somebody who's impatient, a little bit spontaneous. He might say, yeah, I'll have it.
Back on super yacht Turquoise, Scottish multimillionaire Doug Barrowman is contemplating costs. In particular, the cost of running a yacht on the high seas. A £15,000 work of art has hit the deck.
There's an example of some damage that we've had today. That's probably a €20,000 sculpture. It's really disappointing, that. But it happens. You know, we'll deal with it. We'll replace it.
And there's a bigger expense on the horizon. He's planning on selling turquoise in order to spend £50 million on a massive 67-metre mega yacht.
The advice we're taking is that it's a good time to sell her so that we can invest the money in perhaps a larger vessel. Perhaps we will sell her, perhaps we won't. We just need to see.
To realise his dream, Doug is taking turquoise to the Monaco Yacht Show to try and sell her in competition with hundreds of other owners. It's the countdown to Monaco's annual yacht show. The world's wealthiest people, many Brits among them, will be amassing to buy, sell, and show off their multi-million-pound mega yachts. They'll expect their prize toys to look as good as new. And cleaning up after billionaires can have its rewards. Crew can earn over £40,000 tax-free a year, and as much as £9,000 in a single tip. Just outside of Monaco is a boot camp for wannabe yacht crew.
Lean in, plate in line with the table.
Here trainees have to impress their tutor, Terry Gilmore.
Right. We teach them how to do silver service, we teach them how to do Russian service, butler service, we teach them to do bedrooms, bathrooms, back of house, which includes even holding a tea towel.
Terry started out as a labourer in Dorset, but gave it up for a more lucrative career. He's spent 30 years on super yachts, serving the world's most demanding clients.
I'd like you to serve, please. And this is somebody coming in to do the course for the first time. He's never done silver service and he wants to work on yachts. Well, the ultimate is that you have to be able to do silver service. As you can see, he's just dropped his fork. On average, we have 30, 40 applicants a day looking for work. And out of those 30 to 40 applicants, we may have 2 or 3 that we think are suitable for yachts. It is an attractive industry which attracts attractive people. It's as simple as that. And that's what's required. The extra is that they're pretty good instead of pretty awful. He doesn't know what he's doing. And boy, he's just been sacked.
As well as training them, Terry also provides crews for super yacht owners.
Let's say you had 6 Miss Worlds on your boat and the owner's wife wasn't as attractive as the others. Of course she's going to get upset. It's human nature, is it not? So you just make sure that you've got 1 Miss World and 5 others not so attractive. Now, the wife is opposite. And so if he's got 2 hands, she's got 2 hands under the table and her husband's got a smile. That does not work. So basically, it really is a turn, in, down and across. There's an art of clearing the table. There's an art of speaking at the table to the guests. There's certain words you don't say. The worst one is awesome. What? I mean, who says what? You say pardon. I did have to sack someone once for saying potatoes at the table. It was to do with royal circles, and you do not speak at the table. And this girl said, potatoes, sir. Quite simply, if you're not what the owner requires or the captain requires, you're off.
On super yacht Seaflower, the crew are all well aware of the rules of the job. They are busy preparing for the arrival of their thrill-seeking Scottish owner, Lord Irvin Laidlaw. He made millions from creating one of the world's largest conference organising businesses. And his company set up the Monaco Yacht Show. At 72, he spends over 9 weeks of the year on his boat, with room for 10 guests.
First of all, you've got to know that I'm officially retired. So life is meant to be holiday all the time. Because its primary purpose is to be a boat that is enjoyable to be on board, a boat that is beautiful to look at, both inside and out. Seaflower should be immaculate. If it doesn't fulfill that, then the crew get changed.
Lindsay from Glasgow is one of Lord Laidlaw's 8 full-time crew, earning nearly £30,000 a year as a stewardess. It's an all-consuming job.
Making beds, daily chore. We always want it to look like it's never been slept in before. It's what people come to expect on a super yacht.
Head stewardess Kaylee, who comes from Bournemouth, earns nearly $40,000 a year. She's responsible for the upkeep of every little item.
You have to have an overwhelming attention to detail, and basically everything has to be absolute perfection. Our role is to worry about it and then worry about it some more.
In overall command of Lord Laidlaw's boat is Captain Matt.
Don't really appear to be moving forward at the moment.
When you're trying to manage a floating stately home, any small accident can be disastrous.
These particular owners have 3 dogs, standard poodles, so rather large dogs, which are delightful, but dogs bring a whole range of extra issues that one has to deal with, if you need to.
What was that?
That was a dog accident, which we're not going to be able to remove, so we're going to probably have to put a cut in the carpet here.
I've owned boats since 1975. They are extravagant things to own, and you can't justify them in any way whatsoever. So you have to love them, because if you don't love them, you're certainly going to resent the expense.
For the man who has everything, a super yacht can become an obsession. Back in the Isle of Man, multimillionaire Doug Barrowman is pushing ahead with his dream to build a 67-metre mega yacht to replace his 55-metre one.
I just basically have a passion to build something bigger, really, as an achievement for me personally.
Designer Johnny Horsfield has drawn up some plans for a project that could cost £50 million. With so much at stake, expectations are high.
In fact, I could sit here, couldn't I?
You could.
Ooh, I've just lifted the feet off the shoes.
You stick those back on, Johnny, otherwise I'll have carpet marks on my handmade silk carpets.
This is actually 67 metres, and that was the profile that you were pretty keen on.
The beach club works, because that's where people are going to spend most of the day, chilled out down there. I think the larger pool's important, because these days quasi-swimming pools are in vogue. But if you're going to build a boat of this size, it has to have all these ingredients.
Doug expects all the mod cons on his new boat.
And we talked about at the design stage you were going to build a touch-and-go helipad. Have you incorporated that?
I haven't, actually. It's found something that I haven't done.
You could say it's more a gimmick than a practical, usable thing, but it's one of those boxes that a yacht of this size could have.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. We can put it on, whether it would really get used.
That's a nice problem to have. It was good to see you.
Excellent, thank you very much for your time.
Always nice of you to sell cocktails and dreams. Oh, it's not.
See you.
All the best for now, Johnny.
Cheers.
Bye.
It's back to the drawing board for Johnny. He's designed over 20 mega yachts and is well aware that despite the owner's aspirations, bigger isn't always better.
You get limited on where you can go. You know, you can't get into every marina in a 80 metre. If you like, the limit in Saint-Tropez is something like 50 metres. So you think, oh, guy's only got 50 metre, but he's the one sat in Saint-Tropez having a party, whereas you're out bobbing around, you know, in your 80 metre, you know, with no friends.
But for some owners, bigger is better. Kismet 2 was one of the biggest boats exhibited at the Monaco Yacht Show last year and is owned by American billionaire Shad Khan.
If you have to ask what it costs, you probably can't afford it, so.
He arrived in Chicago from Pakistan in 1967 as a penniless 16-year-old, took an engineering degree and started up a company making car bumpers. Khan's bumpers are now attached to 2/3 of all American cars.
In a very small way, this is a microcosm of the American dream.
His net worth is estimated at almost £3.5 billion. He owns Fulham Football Club and the Jacksonville Jaguars American football team. But his biggest challenge was building the 95-metre Kismet 2 with a gross tonnage weighing the same as 66 blue whales.
A lot of times, size becomes a factor.
Shad had a vision for 5 decks, 8 staterooms, a personal wellness centre, and a helipad. And he also had a clear idea of the colour scheme.
For lack of a better word, I would say champagne and caviar. That it's light, and dark. You know, it took really not only a village, took a city to build it. I'm very proud to be part of it.
Pascal Raymond and Brit Jason Macquarie were responsible for the interiors. They haven't seen Kismet 2 since it was fully completed.
No, this is really good. We remind you a little bit of the deco that you have when you use to cross the Atlantic. So it's a touch of glam and elegance. If you look at the staircase, every lady with a beautiful evening dress would like to go down the staircase to join the group and have a drink. We bring a dream.
They're here to inspect an elaborate chandelier fitted after the yacht was launched.
Fantastic. We had this space between the glass lift. It was a nice way to bring some color, some light.
The chandelier contains hundreds of individually hand-blown glass pieces.
This is extremely intricate, but it's extremely heavy. So I think it's around 270 kilos. On a boat, you have to take out all the vibration, so it's well supported because it's obviously extremely dangerous.
Now I'm going to show my favourite spot, the toilet in the spa.
Shard's brief was followed even in the smallest of rooms.
I love it because we're talking about dark and light. This is what you're having. And it's a dark room with a sort of light source in the centre. The walls are curved and it's really influenced by Persian art.
With interiors like this costing over £20 million, everything has to have a wow factor.
When you design something, you have to have the cost in mind, but at the same time, you can't just think of money, because if you think of money, we stop thinking of ideas.
I can't remember even how many TVs we have in this yacht.
Yeah. It's
I
quite
think
a lot
it's
of
over
TVs.
100. Yeah. I think it's over 100, so.
Pascal's business is British-based, and 70% of the world's mega yachts are built in Europe, where the Brits are a vital part of the industry. Tim Hayward and Andrew Winch are the godfathers of yacht design.
Here we go.
Wow. They've created floating empires to suit the demands of Roman Abramovich and the Saudi royal family.
Today's yachts are the manor houses and great houses of Europe.
They're in a gigantic Dutch shipyard, the birthplace of many of the boats at the Monaco Yacht Show, to check on their latest 85-meter creation.
The shipyards themselves are cathedral spaces. They're huge, but they're working machines to build these yachts.
The whole boat is a mass of millions of details. You think of the engineering thought that went into that.
They're now using technologies developed in other industries.
These days you get BMWs and other cars with parking facilities where you get to the space, you press the button and it parks itself. There are yachts that do the same thing.
Super yacht owners constantly need designers to provide something out of the ordinary to impress their guests.
We're lying in bed and we have a panoramic view, 180 degrees. What's unique to this boat is we have a full beam spar on the lower level with its own water beach. The left-hand side is a big door that Tim has built into the side in his design, and we go up some steps so you can walk out, you can have a swim in the sea, and so we are all in the business of entertaining.
As well as pampering the owners, they have to protect them. Mega yachts these days are often equipped with panic rooms, and one or two even have a missile defense system.
First project I did with bulletproof glass was last century, and the irony there was that the glass was bulletproof, but the superstructure was aluminium. So if the client felt threatened, he had to jump up on the windowsill and press himself against the glass. There is no such thing as a normal yacht for me. Glass bottom viewing rooms, full operating theatres, hospitals, all of these things are outrageous for a few moments, and then they become an obvious, sensible requirement from the client.
Back in Monaco, sensible is not on the agenda. The 85-meter mega yacht Solange is arriving a day ahead of the yacht show. She's the showpiece of the event, and the pressure's on broker Rupert Nelson to sell her for £130 million. They could buy 760 Ferraris instead.
The beast. Look at that. Largest yacht in the show, largest yacht ever for sale in this show. 4 days, I've got to try and flog it, yeah, that's my job. Obviously, we're not lining up millions of appointments because the type of caliber of client we're looking for is 1 in 100. Even though there's 37,000 people on the dock, we have to filter the wheat from the chaff, keep the riffraff away.
Rupert's chances of selling Solange will be limited to the very highest echelons of super yacht society. Monaco Yacht Show is about to open for business. It's the one time of the year that over £2 billion worth of super yachts will be on show for prospective buyers to inspect. A mooring alone costs £50,000. His Royal Highness of Monaco Prince Albert II's arrival signals the start of the 4-day event. Hundreds of British businesses are also here, hoping to persuade billionaires to buy into the yachting dream.
This is our very latest creation that is made in England. It's English fine bone china, cobra skin, and it's not only available in white gold, we've got the very latest rose gold. A dinner service such as that, for a 14, 16-seater dining table would be in excess of 6 figures.
This year, there are 120 yachts up for sale, each with their own unique features, but all competing for that elusive buyer. Multimillionaire Doug Barrowman is looking to find someone who'll love his yacht turquoise as much as him. Selling it for £20 million will allow him to build a bigger boat.
It's one of those things we ask the people to judge the yacht on our merits, and if somebody wants to buy her and pay the right money, then I'm a reluctant but willing seller.
Broker Rupert is hoping to make the biggest sale of all. Measuring 85 meters and costing £130 million, Solange is the biggest and most expensive yacht at the show. A former Navy lieutenant, Rupert's now spent 25 years as a broker, finessing the etiquette required to sell to the world's wealthiest.
They have an expectation when they walk into a hotel room. It is. They want that service. They won't click their fingers, hopefully, but the smart, shall we say, provider, not servant, the provider of that service, be it a yachty, broker, myself, captain, crew, knows and expects what they want and therefore anticipates, and that's why they never have to click their fingers.
British entrepreneur Howard Raymond is also in the market for a deal. He's looking for adventure, and he's willing to spend up to £15 million of his substantial fortune.
You never sort of play your hand. So, so it's like, oh, I must have it immediately. But it seems that every time I see a boat I quite like, everybody and his mother wants it. So it's been on the market for 4 years, and now everybody wants the boat.
He could be in luck today, as rookie broker Henry Smith is looking to make a quick sale on an £8 million yacht. But is this the boat of Howard's dreams?
Hey, Henry, morning.
Morning, Howard.
How are you? You well?
Very good, how are you doing?
Hi, not too bad, not too bad.
It represents a very, very, very good deal, and as we know, everyone loves a good deal, so we'll see what we can do.
At £8 million, it's relatively cheap.
Certainly one of the best.
But Howard still expects the best in design and accessories.
There's a full rubber shower, which goes rigid when you put water through it.
All right, okay.
Handy for cooling down on deck.
Yeah, okay. I must buy it immediately.
And then there's the question of the previous owner's taste.
This is the master cabin forward. And then here is the bathroom.
Typical Italians having a really funky bathroom.
You can almost certainly tell when you walk into an Italian bathroom, always, because they always have annoyingly shaped sink, i.e. it's not rounded, which means it's very, very difficult to clean, and not your friend if you're trying to use a cloth, that's for sure.
But at the end of the day, Howard's not cleaning the bathroom.
It's quite a nice bathroom.
Whilst that is very true, Howard's person who's cleaning the bathroom might also be going to be serving Howard a drink.
I mean, a lot of the new boats now are sort of designers who've never been to sea, who are designing what they think a boat should be. With lots of sharp edges so that when you bang your head or your legs when you're at sea, it really hurts. A lot of them are statements, and I'm not looking for a statement. I'm looking for a boat that is comfortable, is homely, and ticks all my boxes. It's not for me. The search continues, yeah.
Getting the yacht you really want means paying tens of millions of pounds and building from scratch. Pascal Raymond and her design partner Andrew Langton are at their Riviera beach house.
Cross between James Bond and 15 Gun.
They have a crucial meeting at the boat show with American billionaire Herb Chambers. He left the Navy to work as a photocopier repairman and bought a Cadillac dealership after being disappointed with the service. The 72-year-old car dealer is now believed to be worth £1.2 billion. He's had 7 yachts and wants to see designs for an 8th.
He wants it to look elegant and fast. We're onto something which is getting him excited and whetting his appetite.
Herb spent over $300 million on yachts and expects the best for his buck.
I have clients who can remember every word, every conversation you've ever had with them. They are incredibly intelligent people, so they keep you on your toes, you know. So you can't bullshit anybody.
Hey, Andrew, Pascal, how are you? Each year that goes by, the boats become much more custom. You want to stay on the leading edge of design. I think that's an incentive in wanting to get a new one.
I've come up with 3 sketches of a 60-metre version. Even more racy, even more sporty. This one's got a sun deck and then like a big roof. I think we can make something really, really special looking.
Well, again, I'm trying to think of something where I can still get it the same parts, but have something different, you know?
Before Herb spends any of his millions, he'll have to be convinced his new yacht is unlike any other.
And I can put the rescue boat down here, under the deck.
Ah, I see, okay. Owners don't care about what other people have. It's not true. No, everybody wants to have a nicer boat. There's one thing's for sure. You'll never, ever have the biggest boat.
He may not want the biggest, but he wants to see all the extras.
Yeah. Then this is like a hot tub. So if you did want to have a helipad, we could fill that in and just have the sun deck.
So you got 3 cabins plus a gym.
Yeah.
Or it could be a full cabin.
It could be a full cabin.
We can do big glass panels here as well. This is different, huh? But it's actually, you get the look of this.
Nice big saloon here.
But a different scale.
Inside, outside. But again, we don't have to do that. We can do something different.
This is only the beginning. It could be years before Herb's satisfied with the design.
They don't try to push their ideas on me. They try to give me ideas that I think are mine, and then they develop them to something that really turns out to be beautiful. Bye-bye.
Like many billionaire owners, Herb rents his boat out to other wealthy holidaymakers. It's called chartering. A week's break on the largest mega yachts for 12 people can cost up to £1 million. Howard Raymond also charters his yacht and is always on the lookout for accessories to outdo the competition. And why not a state-of-the-art mini submarine?
Well, this is next year's toy, isn't it? For charter guests. They always want to be ahead of the game, so we have to be ahead of the game. So.
16 hours underwater in air-conditioned luxury.
You can drive the submarine with this thing forward.
I suppose the big question is, something goes wrong. What happens next?
Yeah, we never hear anything in that case. So,
never is alive to tell you. Yeah.
Amount of safety features. For example, the dead man trigger.
Yeah.
If something were to happen with me, it will bring you up to the surface.
Oh, right. I've got to tell you, this is great.
It's very cool, isn't it?
What's delivery on this?
Delivery on this unit is about a year. The last year has been extremely good for us.
Well, obviously the recession's over then, isn't it?
Well, in this case, yeah.
That's great. So I suppose it's a numbers game there.
This model is about 2.3 million euros.
Yes, yeah.
And then you can add some options, lights, manipulator arms, cameras. So, but it includes training and everything you need to operate it.
Right, okay. Yeah, so the smaller one is what?
That one starts at 1.5 million for the 100-meter versions.
For multi-millionaire Howard, buying a submarine is a drop in the ocean.
Hugely unreal.
I thought you were going to say something scarier than that.
That's really interesting. It's really interesting. It would be the only boat in the Med that's doing that.
It is actually completely insane.
Yeah. This isn't everyday life. Oh, look at that, man. That's cool. This is James Bond stuff here. We have to get one immediately.
2 days into the show, and broker Rupert is still on a mission to sell Solange. At £130 million, it's the most expensive yacht in town. Potential buyers have loved the jacuzzi and cinema deck, but they haven't been so keen on the first room they see, Solange's elaborate main lounge.
A lot of clients are sensitive to, I choose the word very carefully, bright or strong features or colours or bold statements that could turn them off. On a boat like this, you're looking at 175 million euros. You have to make sure that you impress from the moment they get on the boat.
Ever the salesman, Rupert has devised a tour that leaves the colourful decor of the lounge until last.
So something that's not quite accommodating, you leave it till you've managed to educate a little bit, persuade, cajole, impress. So by the time you come here, it's not a punch in the face, it's not a shock. And I think you're better equipped to deal with it.
Rupert's luck could be about to change. His best chance of making a sale has just appeared on the horizon. The Monaco Yacht Show is into its 4th and final day. Over 30,000 people, many of them British, are attending. They're all keen to take a peek inside the 120 floating homes of the super rich up for sale. Brokers like Rupert Nelson have to be able to spot the serious buyers, the 1% of the 1%.
The watch might give it away, jewellery might give it away. I mean, there's no way he's bought his wife a $5,000 engagement ring. She'll have something with several carats. It sounds a bit sort of voyeurism. You've got to look at them and ogle a bit, but you're looking at the cut of the hair, the way the face is. Does it show it's been lived in, or has it actually been looked after, you know?
So far, only 30 exclusive visitors have been allowed to come aboard the £130 million boat Solange. Even Lord Sugar, with his estimated £1.4 billion, doesn't seem to have been tempted to buy the boat. But all is not lost. A serious buyer has just sailed onto the horizon. A secret American billionaire has sent his British representative to buy him a yacht. But Rupert's worried Solange's overly purple main lounge could be a turn-off. Time for Rupert to put his cunning tour plan into operation.
What we're going to do, we'll start at the top, so it's a bit of a hike, and then we spiral down. It's much easier.
Rupert's starting his tour upstairs, leaving the yacht's main lounge until last.
Let's start with the sun deck. Come evening time, you put up an awning or not, we have a cinema screen, and then when the film's ended, you've got your disco, dance floor, and that white box there is a mixing desk. You have a pole? You could have a pole, there's a fitting. You could have a pole.
Billionaires care about the finer detail, so Rupert has had to memorize everything about the 85-meter boat.
So obviously you've got your gymnasium, you've got a fully functioning massage, closing off. This is a steam room, there's a shower behind me. You can come in behind me, there's a door there. Again, go back to the bar and have a few beers.
I look forward to it.
It's a healthy lifestyle. It's all about getting the alcohol out of the body, so you can carry on doing it again.
12 guests max?
12 guest commercial. There are 7/8 bedrooms.
Time to test the water with the feature chandelier. The biggest ever made for a mega yacht. 15 meters long, stretching through all 6 decks.
This is called the Tree of Life. There are over 800 Morena Venetian glass, handmade. Jack and the Beanstalk. I say do it slowly because if you see guys walking around the show like this, you know they've been on Solange.
Well, that's what you think of the yacht.
Very intricate.
It's Rupert calling.
Beautifully made. And probably the super yacht on the market at the moment.
Every time you say 175 million and you're walking around this boat, you're actually getting a feel for what you get. You go, actually, it's quite justifiable. If you go on some of the other yachts in the show, you know, the volume is 1/3.
Potential owners also have to consider the £10 million yearly running expenses.
3 generators, he has 220,000 litres of fuel.
Just turning on the engine without moving can cost £2,000.
90 meals a day in its current operation. There's 29 crew on board. So here we are, the beach platform. The sea bobs are out.
Only the purple salon remains, and Rupert's ready to soften the blow.
By the time you get here, you realise, you know what? I can change this. Purple's not a bad colour. You never live inside a yacht, you live outside a yacht. Everything about this boat is a labour of love. All these units you see, like them or don't like them, they're handmade for this boat. They weren't picked off an antique store.
Patter seems to be paying off.
Most owners are very detail-orientated. The glass here on this table, the craftsman that made that is truly an artist on his own. People ask you why it's 175 million. Well, you've got to pay 6 guys for 3 years to do some glass and tables. Once you start thinking of it in those terms, suddenly it starts to make sense, if 175 million ever makes sense. His apartment in New York is very similar in style and detail. He's had 5 yachts so far, and now he wants to go world cruising, but they want to do it at the level that they now live at, and this is exactly where they're at.
To try and seal the deal, Rupert can offer a small discount.
She's not going to sell for under 150. She'll certainly sell for 160.
Despite Rupert's efforts, there's no immediate sale. The agent wants to have a think and talk to his boss.
We have had offers. They haven't been accepted. But offers buy yachts, so you've got to start somewhere.
Rupert's big payday may have to wait. And when the sun sets over the Monaco Yacht Show, the exclusive boat parties begin and business continues. Howard's using it as an opportunity to view another boat to fulfill his dreams.
I'm actually socialising, but like any boat here, it's actually for sale. So perhaps a bit of both, wandering around the boat, having a little eyeball, and well, I get too pissed in case I end up getting my checkbook out. So I have to be a bit careful with that one.
Howard wants to take time out from his multi-million-pound empire and buy a yacht in which he can travel the world.
Nice homely sort of saloon lounge area and going into a formal dining.
While Howard may be looking to buy, at another party, Doug Barrowman is in the market to sell.
There's lots of flashing lights, there's lots of people on the top deck, and we'll give it a try and see how we get on. Yeah?
He's rubbing shoulders with guests worth £100 billion, which gives him the chance to promote Turquoise, the yacht he wants to sell.
What a beautiful boat. You like it? I do, actually. We've got Turquoise over there, which... Oh, okay.
Britt Nicholas Frankel specialises in organising super yacht parties where the wealthy can gather and talk business.
Gorgeous. You know Vera? There are no sacred places where these uber-wealthy people hang out. And that's where super yachts become even more valuable, because they are still sort of bastions of what they would describe as sort of civilization.
The Yacht Show gives Doug the opportunity to mingle not just with the uber-wealthy, but also the uber-powerful.
The Mongolians have arrived. Good evening. Good evening. Minister, lovely to see you.
Even the Mongolian foreign minister has been invited to sample the lifestyle of the rich and famous.
Wow, you've come a very long way, haven't you? Yeah, that is a long way.
Unfortunately for Doug, the Mongolian minister is somewhat restricted from buying a super yacht.
Have you got a boat?
Mongolia is a landlocked country. I don't know where I use the boat. It's better I buy horses. I have many horses.
The yacht show is nearly at an end, and some millionaires who already have it all will be leaving Monaco, owning even more. Howard Raymond's lifelong ambition is to buy a boat to travel the world. Having come to the Monaco Yacht Show, he's now one step closer to buying the boat he needs.
We've identified 2 potential boats. sort of semi-fit the criteria.
Even if he gets one, like any self-respecting multimillionaire, he will still have to refurbish it to his own specific tastes.
It's not like you pop down to the garage and get a car and I say, oh, I'll have that one, and you get it tomorrow morning. These are complicated beasts, extremely complicated beasts. So if it was all okay today, signed, sealed, delivered and done, I wouldn't expect to see it for at least 2 years.
Doug Barrowman is going to have even longer to wait for his new, bigger dream boat. Over the 4 days, he's had over 30 prospective buyers tour Turquoise.
It's quite off-putting, really, because you're trying to live on the yacht and they're trying to see every nook and cranny, you know, short of looking in your underwear drawer, really.
He's had significant interest, but it could take at least 6 months to seal a deal.
Actually, coming to the end of the show,
it's hard work, isn't it?
I'm quite happy to be winding down.
The sirens signal the end of the Monaco Yacht Show for another year. The 120 boats that are now leaving are just a small fraction of the 6,000 super yachts that have been built over the last 25 years. And as the rich get richer, the demand looks set to increase, with another 700 boats in construction around the world.
This is not something that's going to go away. And these boats are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And in an industry that employs thousands of Brits, there'll always be a chance for a bumper payday.
As the number of wealthy people in the world increases and magnifies, as it does year on year, there probably will be a time where there'll be so many very rich people in the world that actually these boat shows will be rather like a market stall.
And more yachts mean billionaires like Doug Barrowman will continue to pay to have the best.
Where did it all go wrong? Well, I think it actually went right when I bought it, and I can still say that.
Well, next Sunday at 8, the engineering behind Hitler's supergun wasn't really powerful enough to destroy London. On the way next tonight, Queen is in real trouble. Just who is this good Samaritan? An intense homeland on the way.